to go live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Just getting myself set up here. Running a little behind. That seems to be my groove. Be right on time or just a little behind. I know that drives people that are blueprints, if you've ever followed or learned about the bank system and personality types. Woo. That drives people crazy. And my computer just went live. So I know that I'm just starting to get up live so people can join me, and we'll get right into it in the next couple of minutes. I'm gonna make sure I have everything. I think I have most things to get through this practice today. So yes, I've got my comfy pajama pants on. They're nice and soft and fluffy. And so make yourself comfortable. We're going to go through the practice today. We're going to be using a chair, similar to what we've done if you've joined me before. We're going to do a few stretches to get you started and start your week off right. And as everyone gets notified, if there is anybody that wants to join us, I'm going to give us a few minutes for them to come on to join us live today. As always, my name is Julianne Duffy. I am the content creator here on Breathe Within Yoga. I'm a yoga instructor, intuitive oracle card reader, and if you've been following me, you'll see I do a lot of inspirational content, for sure, around dogs. Dogs really make me feel substantially more sane, especially as we are in insane times. And as I'm letting everybody kind of catch up and get online here, I'd love to share a little story. A story of why I feel this is so important that we start our days off and come back into this present moment and the attitude of gratitude. So I talk about a lot of what I really am working on myself. And myself, I am constantly working on being present in the moment, because I struggle with that. So I'm not going to lie. Like, I will struggle with this as much as anybody else does. And the more that I teach it, the more I live it, the easier it does get. We've had a recurring issue since 2020 of things being made very, very poorly. I'll attempt to make this as brief as possible as people come on. However, to summarize up this story, we bought a truck in 2021 because we needed a truck. And what ended up happening with this truck is, out of the time we bought it from May, we had it maybe a handful of weeks, not even. We had it for a couple weeks. It had all these error messages. We took it back. They had it for a couple of months. We get it back at the end of August, beginning of September. And this truck, literally, without warning, we got more warning by the people on the road than we did from the truck. We started getting honked at, and as we're getting honked at, the dashboard goes dead and we see smoke come out of this truck. It was a Jeep Gladiator. It burnt down to the ground on the ring road in Calgary, Alberta. Luckily enough, no one was hurt. We got out, our dog got out, our trailer that we were pulling was fine. We did not die, so, thank you, because clearly that was not our time. And this piece just burnt down. In Canada, we don't have lemon laws. There's nothing we can do. We literally paid for months of this vehicle that we literally had access to, that drove for maybe a couple of weeks. We were out a huge deposit and a whole bunch of money. We still needed a truck. So my husband goes searching for a truck. There's nothing to be found. He puts a deposit on a Denali and waiting. They're like, oh yeah, we've got them coming in. It's a couple weeks. They show up. We know they're in. We can't test drive it. They already have recalled parts on these brand new delivered trucks. So we get our deposit back. My husband's searching all over for another truck, everywhere. We really didn't have very many options. And we eventually, hello Ryan, welcome. I'm telling my story of being in the present now and why this is so important. So we finally, so we have this truck burn down, attempt to kill us. We survive. Great. That's end of August 2021. We're looking for another truck after this whole fiasco. Put a deposit down. The trucks come in, but you can't test drive any of these Denalis because they all had recalled issues. And oh, well, you're oh, sorry, I apologize. I know a lot of Ryans that are boys, but it's a unisex name. Sorry, that's my oldness. I apologize. um, so we get that, can't test drive them, get our deposit back, because that doesn't help us to have a vehicle that we can't drive. So we're looking around, looking around. We're literally at the mercy that this one dealership has like 2 trucks. And then we find out after we test drive one that only one of them is actually for sale because the other one's being reserved for somebody else. So we end up buying this truck, and it works where we've got it. It was at the end of what it was, a 2022 model. We literally have had it for just about 2 years at this point, I guess a little over 2 years or whatever around that is. And earlier this summer, we started having an issue. The transmission valve, it's a computer, started acting up, started having issues. We've been waiting. We have been waiting since August for this piece. We can't stop living. We need to use this truck. So we've been driving and driving and driving. Well, we killed it. We killed it. We actually were hoping we would kill the transmission, because then they would have to replace the whole transmissions, and transmissions are easier to get than this part. And no, we just killed this part completely. Now we're traveling through the US because we have to do things, and my husband has events to get to. So we are now in the US. The best, I guess, of the worst case scenarios happened, that we lucked out that we weren't very far from a friend's house. We were able to get our trailer towed back to our friend's house. I'm literally bumming and living in his driveway as our truck that we're doing payments on is sitting with no ETA to when we can get this part. There's a nationwide shortage. This is a problem. We've searched dealerships through Canada, all through the States. We're talking to people. They can't get this part because we're finding out that all of these trucks are being made with this same transmission, and it is not made well. They're admitting, they know that this is a problem. They know the quality has gone down. Literally everything since 2020 has been crap. Like, it's been crap. It doesn't matter how expensive and how much money you put at it. It's made of crap. And it's just more expensive crap that you can't get fixed. And so we're sitting here. I've been now living on our friend's driveway for a week. No ETA, no idea, hunting for a part, thinking that maybe a third party can get it, but finding out that they're in the same situation as GMC, where they're literally waiting for those parts. Once a part comes in, it takes 5 to 10 days to get it. But in the meantime, you're paying your payments on your vehicle, you're stuck wherever, and you don't have a truck. We're told to go buy another truck, because that's a solution, because we've had such a good experience attempting to get a truck in the 2020s. It is actually hilarious if you think about it at a level. It's so unbelievable that it's hilarious, but it's not. This is the state of our reality. Everything is absolutely ridiculously crap. Everything. It doesn't matter where you look, you turn, this is stupid. This should not be allowed. How are they allowed to continue to sell trucks with this part that they know is a problem? Because they have all these trucks waiting for this piece, not recalled, but there's a nationwide shortage. So really, we're at this point now where we can get a lawyer. At least we're in the US. In Canada, as I mentioned earlier, we don't have lemon laws. So we had no repercussion. We can't sue. We can't do anything to get any of our money back on a truck that we literally got to drive for maybe a month in total over the amount of weeks we had it. The rest of the time, you don't get it. There's nothing. We were out easily $10,000 between payments and deposit on that other truck. Now we're here paying for a truck that's dead at a dealership with no sign. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to have to live on my friend's driveway. I can't dump anything. I can't use my stuff really. I'm stuck here, and it will get colder because, we're still kind of more north. And that was our point, was to travel south and be somewhere for most of the winter where we've got a whole bunch of things going on. So anyways, my husband is now off at events because we've had to fly to the events we never made it to. And I'm here in the trailer using my best state of mind I can, going into the breath work, continuing to go to that gratitude, which is very difficult. It is so difficult to constantly bring yourself back into that moment of gratitude. That's the only way to stay out of the anxiety and the stress, because there is complete unknown. Will I ever be able to tow this truck out? Are we going to eventually have to borrow someone's truck and just tow it somewhere and dump our trailer? I have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen. And there is complete, like, the unknowing is real. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like, that's my story of this moment and the current chaos that I'm going through. Everyone's got their own thing. So, don't feel sorry for me. I get everyone's got their own thing, and we could be much worse off. We're not. We're very lucky that we have a safe place to park and be and work through this with the goal to have a good outcome in the end. But I don't know. I have no guarantees in life. And that is the truth we really have, is that, there is no guarantees. Things that used to be, I think about it, back in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, before the 2020s, you have a problem with your vehicle, you could get parts. And, you might have to wait. You would be told within a couple days, okay, yeah, we got to get you this part. It's going to be shipped from wherever. You might have to wait. You knew. That's no longer the reality in the 2020s. We literally have these companies providing us subpar services, subpar parts. They're all being outsourced. None of them make them, so they're reliant on the company that's making the Allison transmissions to then make these replacement parts, that all of the dealerships have dead trucks with these problems. Or the problem's not quite dead, but they don't work properly, right? And I go, as a human, in this society, I'm now 42 years old. I've never experienced so much ridiculousness as I have since 2020. We have definitely changed times of where there is complete uncertainty. And the one thing you can guarantee is that something's going to happen and you're going to get no ETA, and you are just going to have to figure out how to survive without losing your mind. I'm not gonna lie, today was a struggle. I got up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm this and this and this. And I'm like, I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of not having my freedom. I've had my freedom to travel and move. I feel trapped. And I have to be gentle with myself, because that is normal. It's gonna be normal when you have these situations to feel angst, stress, anxiety. What we all need to do, and this is going to be us all in our own lives for whatever our situations are, is find that ability to really grasp on that gratitude and come back to that point that, right now in this moment, I'm safe. We're not starving. We're not freezing to death. We're in a, everything is fine. I have no end result. I have no guarantee of anything. However, right now in this moment, everything is good. And I have to be grateful that, this could be a much worse situation. We could have had an accident, could have had how our truck died. We were lucky. It was literally a matter of 30 seconds where we pulled off the major highway and we're pulling off into a truck stop to get some gas, that it just completely stopped and we could no longer move the truck. And, I look at this and go, like, definitely the divine has our back, and we are being tested. I think everyone's being tested in different ways. I feel like, why am I being, I'm not gonna lie. There is always that conversation of, why am I being punished? Why am I being punished with vehicles? It's not, it is what it is. And we have to find a way to accept whatever the situation is, whatever our perception is, whether we like it or not, and come back to that point that we can be grateful and back in that moment and be there as much as we can, because being upset about it and angry isn't going to help us. It doesn't help me. I know that. And it doesn't help anybody as we go through this time. So that's my story of why I really want to bring, as we go through these sessions, a lot of moments of gratitude and focus on being present in the moment. That is really the only thing we can do. The only thing we can do is work on being more appreciative, more in the moment, and trusting that the divine has our back. I have to trust that the reason we've had these issues, we weren't meant to have that truck. That truck was dead. We had this happen here because maybe we weren't supposed to get our trailer out to that area. And trust that it will be fine. And time, even if I don't have my answers that I want, it's going to be fine. And I have to come back to gratitude and be grateful for what I do have and what is. And that's my health, that's my safety, and that we have what we need at this moment, right? And that is difficult when we're being pulled and being triggered by situations that we've never experienced before. And I feel there is a lot of us having experiences we've never had before. So thank you for joining me and my little rant, if you are still here. And thank you for everybody that's made comments if you have listened. But that's really my story. And just, it is to give you a perspective of why I work on this and why it's always so important to keep putting focus back into being in the moment. Because when we're in the moment, we realize everything is fine, and you can bring yourself back to that sane consciousness. And it's a practice, it's a constant practice to get better and better of being in that moment. So with that, let's get ourselves in that moment and in that attitude of gratitude to start off our week. Because, we don't know what's in store for us. We don't know what's going to happen. That is a guarantee in life, is that change and unexpectedness is going to happen. And we need to find ways that we can get through them without having emotional outbursts that are going to be detrimental to ourselves. That, we may do things that we don't want to do, or just unnecessary stress we add to ourselves by being upset about things that are outside of our control. Like, I can't control it. I have a dead truck. There is absolutely nothing I can do. I can't force it. All we can do is search and search and search, and my husband has spent hours looking and attempting to find solutions, and we're really coming up with not much of anything besides getting a lawyer. And maybe if they can force us to get to the front, since we've been waiting since August for this part, and now it's completely dead. I don't know, right? I can't do anything. Getting angry and being upset is a reaction I naturally want to do. And then I have to bring myself back that right now, and this moment is perfect, and this moment is fine, and this moment is divine. And the guides are supporting us, and there's always a bigger reason that we are being challenged in our lives. Maybe this truck isn't supposed to bring us anywhere else. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see how this rolls out and how long this does take. On that note, let's come into what we can do. And what we can do is come into that attitude of gratitude, our breath, and centering ourselves. So if you've got your chair, because I've given you lots of time, make sure you've got your chair. You're going to make sure you're sitting and you've got some space between the back of your spine and the chair. We're going to ground our feet. We're going to sit tall, make sure the knees are over the ankles. And let's take a deep breath in, bringing those shoulders up towards the ears. And then let those shoulders roll back, letting the breath go. Let's do that 2 more times. Another deep breath in, noticing how it feels to bring in that breath, and then letting it go, letting those shoulders gently release. Let's do it 1 more time. Another beautiful deep breath in, and then really exaggerate, bringing those shoulders back, releasing the breath, and letting the hands come to the thighs. If it feels appropriate, you can close the eyes or find a non-moving spot to gaze at. And this is that opportunity again. The more we bring ourselves to that present moment, the more we're bringing ourselves into peace. There's no fear, there's no anxiety. When we are in the moment, we can be in that gratitude. So let's notice how we feel after doing those breaths. How is our mind feeling? How is our body? And we practice that non-attachment. So without attaching, maybe there's some sore back. Maybe there's some stiffness in our legs, wherever there might be some stiffness. Without attaching, we bring in the breath, and we let those observations release at this moment. For the next few moments, the next few minutes as we do these few stretches, our focus is to be present. And let's bring ourselves that gratitude statement. It says, as I mentioned, when we are grateful, the anxiety, the stress, we can only be grateful in that moment. So if we can keep ourselves focused on that as much as possible. So we're in our mind's eye. We're going to bring up a statement. What are we grateful for? Take a moment, whatever that first thought is, allow it to come into your mind's eye. And let's make that a statement of gratitude. I am grateful for. I am grateful for my health, for my family, for this present moment. Whatever it is, let's once more repeat it. Maybe we hear it, maybe we see the words. I am grateful. And as we let that go, let's imagine we bringing in that energy of our gratitude, the words, we're grabbing them with our mind's eye and bringing them right into our heart center, surrounding them with the energy of love, peace, and harmony. I am grateful. Take one more deep breath in. Really imagine that you're absorbing that gratitude right into your heart center. And let's take a breath and let's start to do a little bit of movement. We'll reach those arms overhead. Deep breath in. And as we exhale, bringing those hands to heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Another beautiful deep breath in, reaching those arms overhead. And letting the breath go. Once more, reaching those arms, bringing in that full deep breath. And releasing on the exhale. With the thumbs pointing towards towards this heart center, let's add a little twist. We're going to twist over to the right. So to bring that right elbow behind us, keep those seated bones grounded. So to gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to activate those core muscles as we come back through center. And we gently release. Another beautiful deep breath in. Exhale. Start to twist over to the left side, gazing. Use those core muscles or pretend as we come back once more. On the inhale, let's do our sun salutation variation, reaching the arms overhead. As we exhale, gently let yourself float over the thighs. Let the hands reach towards the floor, the chin to chest. Let everything be heavy. On the inhale, we'll bring our hands onto the shins, coming through our tabletop position. Exhale, let yourself melt once again. And on the inhale, slowly bringing ourselves back up through to our seated. Let's do a cat and cow to warm up our spine. Hands are on the thighs. And I realize my other thing has frozen. Being in the moment. Opening up through the chest. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Opening with another beautiful deep breath. Really imagine that the shoulder blades go back for that beautiful stretch into the belly. Exhale, letting that breath go. As we come through this breath, let's bring in our gratitude statement. I am grateful for my health. Let that go with the exhale. Let's do one more deep breath in. Opening up. And then letting that go. Imagining someone squeezing out that air as we let that breath go. Coming back up to seated, let's work a little bit of the core today. So sitting tall, we're going to start to bring one leg up. So it's going to be one leg up. We're going to avoid falling backwards. So we're going to bring that knee towards our chin without falling. And then we're going to point our toe towards the floor and then our toe towards our shin. Toe towards the floor and then towards the shin. If you've got a little bit of abdominal shaking, wonderful. We're going to do that 2 more times with our toe towards the floor, then towards our shin. Last time towards the floor, and then towards the shin. And then gently let that leg come back down. Sitting up tall, making sure we've still got that elongation. Let's bring the other leg up again, as far as we can bring it. We're going to hold it, and then we're going to point and flex our toes. Toes to the shin, and then toes to the floor. Toes to the shin, and toes to the floor. Feel those core muscles activated, toes to the shin and to the floor. That's it. One more time here. Toes to the shin and toes to the floor. Perfect. keeping that strong core. So as always, we're avoiding falling into our chair. Let's do that again. We're going to take big steps with each leg. So we're bringing that right leg up, hold, bring it down. Bring that left leg up, hold, and then back to the floor. Once again, big step up, keep that core straight, keep the spine long, and then bring it back down. Once again with that left side and down. Perfect. Let's take a moment, check in, notice, again, that moment of gratitude. I am grateful for this moment, my family. Notice how the body is. And then we let that go. Let's move on to the arms. Let's bring those arms overhead, reaching for the sky. We're going to bring our palms facing the opposite direction, and then we're going to let those palms touch. So our arms might be in front of us. Maybe we can get them so our ears, they're in alignment with our ears as we lengthen and feel that stretch into the upper back and shoulders. Keep the tummy tight, belly button to spine. Deep breath in, feel that stretch into the upper back. Curl the corners of our mouth up as we smile. Let's bring yourselves into this present moment once again. Deep breath. And letting that breath go. One more breath here. And slowly release. Take a moment, remember which one went in front, because we're going to do that again. But let's move into the legs a little bit more. So let's do our supported lunge today to stretch out a little more into the hips and into the legs. So we're going to come bringing our left glute onto the chair. The right glute, we're going to start to scooch off to the chair. We're going to hold the back of the chair and we're going to start to curl our toes under, letting the knee point towards the floor. Now we can let it go back as far as feels appropriate and may come a little bit closer, whatever feels good for you. We don't want to force anything. This is our assisted lunge using the chair. So making sure that front leg, that left leg, the knee is over the ankle. We're going to lengthen. You can stay right here with the left hand on the back of the chair. Or if you want to take it up a little bit of difficulty, let's bring that left arm towards the left arm towards the sky because it's our right hand. Sorry if I'm confusing. Sometimes I get my right and left mixed up when I'm mirroring. Lengthen through that side of the body, and we're going to lean towards the back of the chair. So we're feeling that stretch through the obliques. So we're feeling a space between the hip and the ribs. Deep breath in, reaching over. And then use those core muscles to come back through center and gently release the arm. Perfect. Let's do one more here. We're going to start to twist our chest towards the back of the chair. So keeping our leg as is, noticing, again, never forcing anything. We're going to use that right hand to grab the far back part of our chair. Left hand's in front, lengthen through the chest, and then we're going to bring our chest to face the back of the chair. So we're adding that twist. If you want to add the gaze, start to gaze over the back shoulder. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Let's take one more breath here. Bringing in that gratitude. I am grateful for this moment. And then slowly unwind, coming back. Let's bring the leg forward to meet the left leg, the right leg to meet the left, and then let's gently bring our seated bones back to the chair. Let's do our wheel pose variation with our arms, and then we'll go to the other side. So again, making sure we've got some space between the back of the chair and our spine. Deep breath in, reach those arms overhead. Again, palms away from each other. Now we're going to do it the opposite way. So whichever way feels opposite, if you took that note, we're switching them up, and we're going to start to lengthen those arms. And again, maybe they're forward, that's okay. Maybe we can get them in alignment with our ears. Wherever we're at is perfect. Let's take that beautiful deep breath in, feel that elongation. Let that exhale go through the nose or the mouth. Being in this moment, let's take one more breath. And slowly release the arms, let everything go. Let's come to the other side. So we're going to switch. The knees are coming over to the left side, keeping that left seated bone glute on the chair. The right foot, we start to curl those toes under. The knee might start to point towards the floor and start to go back as far as feels appropriate. What if that beautiful stretch of the hip flexor? As always, never forcing anything. Grab the chair with your left hand, sitting tall. And then if you want to add that challenge, we're going to lengthen through that right side. So we're going to start to reach that right arm to the sky. Deep breath in, inhale. And then as we exhale, if you want to lean towards the back of the chair, you're welcome to, feeling that space into the rib cage. One beautiful deep breath in. Exhale, letting ourselves come a little more forward. One more breath here. And then using those core muscles or imagining, or I'm grateful that I have a core muscle. I have a core muscles. Bring yourselves back up, releasing the arm. Let's bring both seated bones back to the chair. Oh no, we gotta do our twist. I almost forgot. Sometimes that happens and I get too excited. So we're gonna use that left hand, grab that far right part of the chair, the right hand in front, lengthen through the torso, and start to bring that chest towards the back of our chair. Start to gaze over the shoulder if that feels good. Take that breath in. Exhale, adding that twist. Let's bring in that positive I am grateful statement once more. I am grateful. And gently unwind. Bring your torso back over to the left side. Bring that right foot forward. Bring those seated bones back onto the chair. And take a moment. Let's come back into our breath once again. You can close the eyes. Take a deep breath in. Feel the breath expand through the front, the sides, the back of the body. And then as we let that breath go, notice how it feels to add those few stretches this morning. How is the body feeling? If it feels like you want to do more, that is perfect. I encourage you to continue stretching or join me for one of my full practices. And before we leave today, let's bring back our attitude of gratitude. And I'm going to pull us a card from our Wisdom of Oracle cards by Colette Baron-Reed and see what the guides have for us as we come into this new week in November. So in our mind's eye, you can close those eyes if that feels good. Let's see and internally hear our gratitude statement once more. I am grateful for this moment and this opportunity to serve you and share my experience. My intention with my story at the beginning is to give you an idea that all of us are struggling with something, and all of us are constantly being pulled and in and out of this present moment. And the more that we can practice coming into that present moment, the easier it'll be to be able to get past these things and be able to live fully, because all we have is this present moment. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Even after this practice doesn't exist until we're there. And at the beginning of this practice is already the past and doesn't exist. So coming back in, let's bring in that gratitude statement one final time. I am grateful for. I'm grateful for the veterans. We're coming Veterans Days tomorrow, Remembrance Day in Canada. I'm grateful for those that have stood up for my freedoms. I truly am, especially being from Canada. And that's a whole other story. I am very grateful for that. And then as we take that breath, let's be open. What is our message? What is our message I'll leave you with as we finish up our practice for today, the short practice to get you started and moving and aligned for this week? Message in a bottle. That is our card. Our divine message is a message in a bottle. And I'm not sure if it's reversing the words or not, but that is what the guides have for us. And what that really means, well, it's really about the messages being from the divine. I know that. But I'll read you a short little piece because I always like to get the full details from these cards. Communication, a sign, the ancient name for spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. So I feel like that's quite appropriate with, if you watch the beginning of my video, it is about communicating and sending the sign so I can assist you. And you are here for this divine reason, to hear this message. Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them. When you believe, you will receive them. And when You allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open for what someone might say. They might say just the right thing that'll give you the answer to your question. Today your message is, Spirit hears you, and a reply is favorable. So maybe that's why I felt so inclined to share my story. And that belief, like I said at the beginning, is that I do believe the divine has got my back. And there's a reason that even if it's a discomfort and this temporary discomfort that I'm in with no answers, feeling these feelings that have come up that make me anxious, and then having to pull myself back into that moment, there is signs that the divine is giving us. And specifically for this next week, they're going to be favorable. So if you have a question or there's something coming up, be open. Put out what you're asking, and the divine, God, the greater consciousness, is going to respond and assist you for this week. You will get your message in a bottle. On that note, thank you again for joining me. Please do subscribe if you haven't. Like it and share the video if this has helped you and can help others. And if you are interested, I do have memberships, and if you'd like to support me, I would greatly appreciate it. Or check my website. I'm always doing different classes and one-on-one assistances. I'll be getting some new classes kind of going for November how onwards, and if you are interested, reach out. I will respond. And have a beautiful Sunday, if it's your morning, evening, afternoon. And again, anytime you're feeling it, take a breath, make that effort to come back in the moment. And you know, there's a lot of chaos, and all of us are struggling through different things right now. And it's important that we remember that as we see people maybe lose their crap around us. There might be family members struggling, like myself struggling, and then have to vent to somebody at one way or another to get that out, and then assist them if you can to come back in that moment. Because right now in the moment, oh, I'm getting sunlight. The divine is saying, yeah, come back in this moment. Because right now this moment is what we've got, and it is the greatest moment. You are safe, you are secure, and you are supported. And do the best you can to stay in the moment and use the tools. Use your breath, use your gratitude statement. And that's my advice. And remember, put that question out there. You're going to get a response. And again, have a beautiful day. And I will see you again next week for sure for my live. No matter where I am, I may still be in this driveway, and that's okay. I'll be safe and be here. I may have moved. You know, we'll see what happens. This is the life is nothing is guaranteed, and this life is a journey, and we're just on it. And do the best you can to let those things roll off your back. Use the tools, and if you want some assistance, like I said, join me on my classes. I've got courses, and or become a member. Have a great day, and thank you again. Namaste. The light within me acknowledges and sees the light within you. Until next time.